Right now on the National Weather Desk, scorching summer. Records fall and more will be broken as relentless heat broils much of the nation.
100 million Americans are under heat alerts as we head into the weekend.
All while people search for any way to keep cool.
We've got a big back door, we've got a big window, and so any airflow helps.
And why you should water your plants differently in the hot weather.
We're seeing many spots that's stressing out their lawns and gardens.
ALBERTO'S wrath. The first tropical storm of the season is deadly in Mexico and floods the Texas coast. And what makes tonight's full moon different than any other in 20 years?
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Angela Brown. The dangerous heat broiling the Midwest and East Coast remains a threat throughout the weekend and even into next week as well. Many cities where snowfall is typically the big weather story broke heat records on Thursday. Caribou in northern Maine hit 97 degrees with 103 heat index. It was 98 in Boston, 97 in Hartford, 95 in Syracuse. While those places will cool a little bit today, others are starting to heat up. Meteorologist Ryan Coulter has the sweltering details.
100 million Americans are under heat alerts as we head into the weekend. We have heat advisories that extend from Ohio back through Pennsylvania, an excessive heat watch that includes the nation's capital. Heat index values reaching up to 110 by Saturday afternoon. Record-breaking temperatures already found this week from Syracuse back towards Boston, and that heat will continue to build into New York this weekend. Highs are in the 90s, near triple-digit temperatures in D.C. This all continues thanks to this heat dome expanding across the country. Not much relief in sight until we get to next week.
Check in with our team of reporters to see how the heat is impacting life in several cities. First up is Brad Rogers along Sebago Lake outside of Portland, Maine.
I believe we are at full capacity right now.
For a third day in a row, Tasseltop Park and Beach on Sebago Lake in Raymond was jam-packed with families looking for a place to cool off.
Usually we get a really nice north breeze here, but today I don't feel any breeze right now.
Some spent the day lounging on an inflatable. Others splashed about or found a shady spot to read. Anything to take their minds off the heat.
It's great because I'm really hot and this is a good way to cool.
Others flocked to ice cream shops again today to find a little relief from the oppressive heat.
It's been very good for the last 2 days. After 3 o'clock in the afternoon, people leaving the lakes, stopping by to 9 o'clock. Been good and busy.
Every day starting at 6 a.m., Taiwan Jones gears up to ride his bike around the downtown area, looking for anyone in need of a cold bottle of water.
So we do keep our waters in here. We try to carry between 4 to 6 waters, and we try to keep them cold. And we will, if we run out, we will go back to our home office and then we will replenish the water.
He's one of the downtown Columbus safety ambassadors. They're out in the heat conducting safety and security patrols. Dozens of food trucks set up shop at Columbus Commons for the Thursday Pearl Market. Businesses like Fetty Street Food working to stay cool in their food trucks.
Just move a lot so you can get some airflow. We've got a big back door, we've got a big window, and so any airflow helps.
Ontario Beach has officially opened for swimming a day early.
I love working here. I love being here. I was like, of course, I would love to open early.
The beach was filled with people sharing that same excitement about opening day, whether they were coming for the new spray park.
It was nice. There's no drama. It's a pretty chill environment today.
Or maybe they were enjoying the sand. For those who did take a dip in the water, lifeguards were stationed across the beach, keeping a close eye on them.
I think we just like to prepare, especially for day-specific things like this, just making sure we're ready for the heat, making sure we're ready for anything that could happen so we can help anybody.
Alberto is long gone, but the impact from the tropical storm is still being felt across southern Texas. This is Galveston, Texas. As you can see, the storm surge pushed water into neighborhoods, flooding roads and also cars. Ocean swells along the coast are likely to continue throughout the day. The remnants of the storm are still pounding Mexico, where up to 20 inches of rain is possible at this point. At least 4 deaths in Mexico are being blamed on Alberto. Meantime, the National Hurricane Center is watching 2 disturbances this morning. One east of Florida and Georgia has a 50% chance of developing short-lived tropical depression in the next 2 days. The second one here near Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula has a 60% chance of development in the next week. A large portion of the northern plains is at risk of severe storms today as well. The threat stretches from Wisconsin to Montana, as well as southern Utah. But another 47 million people are under a marginal threat, including Detroit, Milwaukee, and Denver, as well as the Northeast and also southern New England. This week has been all about the heat, but not all areas are impacted by high temperatures the same way. Meteorologist Kit Alexander explains why cities heat up much faster than rural areas.
Heat, heat, and more heat. The summer season is here, and with it comes the summer sizzle. Long after the sun goes down, we find in urbanized locations the temperature will remain warmer well into the night. There can easily be a 4+ degree difference between county and city areas. The difference is even more pronounced in bigger cities that are essentially concrete jungles. The reason behind it has to do with the urban heat islands, which include an abundance of concrete, asphalt, and glass. Since materials such as asphalt are great absorbers of heat from the sun, this ultimately has an impact on surface temperatures. So even though the temperature is 92 degrees outside, the asphalt is reading 125 right now, so you better believe due to the dark color of the asphalt, as we go into the evening, the asphalt is going to retain the heat a lot longer, and in fact, we'll be seeing that heat kind of lasting due to the urban island effect. Also remember your pets, as the hot pavement can burn their feet. Heading into the night, the urban heat island temperature difference is often more pronounced as urbanized locations will stay hot longer. So to put it in perspective of how much of an effect that the urban heat island has on local temperatures due to the pavement and the buildings, there's actually a snazzy mathematical equation for this, and you may be thinking, Kit, oh please no math. But it definitely works out. I did it for the town of Bristol. It comes out to about 3.4 degrees difference, and I put the equation here below. In the future, one way to help mitigate the urban heat island effect is to plant more trees and shrubs. Even the buildings could have more trees and shrubs planted on or near the rooftops. Trees and vegetation will help shade building surfaces and also deflect radiation from the sun, which helps us stay cooler during the summer.
And if you plan to head to the beach this weekend, there are some dangers you need to be aware of. Rip currents and longshore currents can pose a serious risk to swimmers. Meteorologist Alex Cadero explains the difference between the two.
The difference between rip currents and longshore currents really depends more so on the angle of approach. Now, rip currents are caused when winds are nearly directly pushing in the waves towards shoreline, a perpendicular angle, if you will, and that causes, again, that lower currents to push out rapidly into the open ocean water. And again, to avoid that or to get out of it, you swim parallel to the ocean, or I should say the actual beach. Now, what a longshore current is, it's caused by a more broad angle, and it pretty much parallels the ocean, or again, the beach line, I should say. Now, when you get alongshore currents, the waves can still knock you off your feet. They can be quite strong, and in order to get out of one of these, you swim back toward the shore, kind of like you would with the rip current. It's the same kind of angle. Again, it's just at a different direction where the waves are coming from, which is what's going to cause, again, the different type of impact. Either way, be careful when you see those red flags flying. They'll be flying at red likely through Thursday and even Friday for Carolina beaches, and maybe down even into parts of Georgia and Florida. This is caused due to two systems, that tropical low near the Bahamas and an area of high pressure to the north. It's funneling in winds coming in off the ocean, and what this allows is, in some cases, a direct, again, wind against the overall shoreline, which is causing that rip current hazard, and sometimes it just parallels the shape of the southeastern coast, which is what causes that longshore current.
And tonight, you will have a great chance to see this month's full moon, known as the strawberry moon. Despite its name, the strawberry moon looks like a pretty shade of gold, not red. It will be at its fullest tonight at 9:08 Eastern Time and will appear full through Sunday morning. It will also appear larger and lower in the sky, since for the first time in really 2 decades here, it falls just one day after the summer solstice. And if you're looking for more great weather content, be sure to check out the National Weather Desk on social media. We post content from our meteorologists across the country, plus all the latest weather headlines. We are on all of your favorite platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, with temperatures across the country soaring, we'll show you how you can make sure your outdoor plants survive the heat. And we'll look at the dangers high temperatures can pose to children.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. Look at this wide range of temperatures on the way in the Northeast. Today, parts of northern New England will stay in the 70s. Parts of southern New York and New Jersey, you'll make it into the low 90s again. What's happening here, there's a front bisecting the Northeast along that boundary. There'll be a few showers this afternoon. That boundary will sharpen up a little bit more on Saturday. North of that front, there'll be some steady rainfall. Look at these temperatures, 50s, 60s, and 70s. There'll be some 90s down into parts of New York once again.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Bailey. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. We are talking about extreme heat going into the next couple of days. We are not looking like we'll see much rainfall, save for maybe a stray shower on your Saturday. A few better chances coming as we move into late Sunday and Monday, but the heat will be on big time until then. High temperature as we move through Friday afternoon, mid to perhaps even upper 90s. The heat index near 100. We will have temperatures reaching close to the triple digits Saturday and Sunday. Heat index 105 to 110.
I'm meteorologist Vitas Reed. Here's a look at your Southeast forecast highs for the day. A hot one in Nashville at 93, Tupelo 95 degrees, and Mobile about 94, 95 in Macon. Charleston 86 degrees, Jacksonville 87. A little more cloud cover down in these regions here as we watch this extratropical low here move inland. It's going to be bringing us some rain as we go through the afternoon. Spotty showers, some rain bands associated with this, some rough surf as well towards Savannah as well as Charleston. As we go through the evening, it'll kind of spread out with showers moving down through Florida.
Presented by the National Weather Desk.
Here's a tropical shower frozen in time near Trent, Texas, west of Abilene. Former tropical storm Alberto sent these conditions into western Texas. Severe weather rolled through Maine Thursday during the tail end of a multi-day heat wave. Thunderstorms knocked down trees and electric lines, leaving thousands without power. And this shelf cloud was spotted ahead of strong storms in Ainsworth, Nebraska.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on Instagram.
Well, you may recognize these warming stripes right here, and that's because they have gained a lot of attention since their creation by a climate scientist in 2018. Emily Gracie spoke to Climate Central about what they represent, and while you'll be seeing a lot of them today.
The warming stripes illustrate basically global warming and also local warming as well. So we take each year is one stripe in the warming stripes. And typically for most locations, unfortunately, as we know, they go from blue to red. So each stripe represents the average temperature in 1 year in a given location. And then we compare it to the long-term average. So the blue stripes are going to be when that year was cooler than average. The red stripes are going to be when that year was hotter than average.
Do you think that this visualization really hit home with the general public when they saw it?
Great question. I think because it's just so intuitive. It's so in your face, and you can see the dramatic shift from blue to red. It really just speaks to you. You don't really have to think too much about it. It's very powerful, and it really sends the message home.
Can you tell me why today is the day that we're supposed to show our stripes?
Well, it's the summer solstice. And summer is the heat season. And as meteorologists, we know heat is the #1 weather killer, and it's a chronic hazard. Heat is a chronic hazard. It's not like a hurricane that comes in, of course, still devastating, but then moves out. We deal with persistent heat, and it's only getting more extreme with climate change. So really bringing awareness to that and, really pushing the message forward that this is the new normal, and people need to make the best decisions to protect themselves and their families based on what we're experiencing and what we're going to continue to experience in this new normal.
And when it's hot outside, you may often hear dire warnings about leaving children in cars. Meteorologist Megan Donahue cautions pet owners about doing the same thing.
Each year, hundreds of pets die from heat exhaustion, heat stroke inside of parked vehicles. The temperature inside of a car can reach critical levels, putting your pet at risk of serious illness or death in less than just 10 minutes, even on a day that doesn't seem that hot to you. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, the temperature inside your vehicle can rise 20 degrees in 10 minutes, 30 degrees in 20 minutes. Every minute, the air temperature inside of a car climbs, even with the windows cracked. At 1 hour, the temperature inside your vehicle can exceed the temperature outside the vehicle by 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So even on a comfortable 70-degree day with your vehicle parked in the shade, the temperature inside can top 110. On a 70-degree day, the temperature inside your car can climb to 90 in just 10 minutes. All dogs begin to experience heat stress when the air temperature exceeds 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so at 6 minutes, your dog can already be suffering. Let's say you have to make a stop at the store. You'll be gone for just 20 minutes on an 80-degree day. In that 20 minutes, the temperature inside your vehicle has climbed to 109. On a 90-degree day, just 10 minutes equals that same 109. Now, none of us would be comfortable sitting in a parked car at those temperatures, and we don't wear fur coats. So please, if you love them, please leave them at home where they can safely wait for you to return. When it's 70 or over, just don't take Rover. For the National Weather Desk, I'm Megan Donahue.
And if you have a home garden, the heat can mean you need to change the way you actually water your plants. Meteorologist Danny Cox has some tips from an expert.
When it's hot, when it's dry, you need to know what to do with plants in your lawn, and all across the country right now, we're seeing many spots that's stressing out their lawns and gardens. Daniel Patterson with Pinecone is here, and of course, Daniel, one thing everybody needs to remember is you need to water.
Yes, sir. Just like you and I, plants need water. You don't want to let them wilt and dry up, because that could lead to death down the road.
And of course, the most important thing is don't overwater when you do this. That's just as bad.
Correct, because if you end up overwatering, you're suffocating that root ball and no air is getting in there, and we need air to breathe.
And of course, the time that you do this, make sure you're doing it at the right time where it's really not beneficial.
Correct, between 4 and 7 in the morning is the best time.
And a lot of people like to fertilize throughout the summer, but when it's dry like this, that's not a good idea.
No, sir. If you put a lot of nitrogen out on your lawn and we get a good rainstorm, it's going to suck it all up at once and cause more harm than good.
And there's your tips from Daniel Patterson of Pinecone. And of course, as we go through the summer, just keep these tips in mind as we go through the hot and humid and dry summer. I'm meteorologist Donnie Cox.
Some big races in the world of motorsports this weekend, but it looks like rain may be more of a factor than heat. Here's meteorologist Brandon Lawson.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Lawson. NASCAR heads to Loudon, New Hampshire this weekend. We'll see who will raise the lobster at the end of the Xfinity and NASCAR Cup Series races this weekend. Unfortunately, showers look likely both days. I think Saturday showers are going to be in the forecast, especially for the afternoon during the Xfinity Series race. So be prepared for some delays there. Hopefully we can get these races in. I do think we'll see some delays. Also, even Sunday, the Cup race, we're looking at more showers. We've got an area of low pressure that's going to be riding through the Great Lakes on Friday, driving into the Northeast on Saturday and Sunday, and that's going to lead to a pretty wet weekend up in Loudon, New Hampshire. So be prepared, have the rain gear, have the poncho handy if you're going to be heading to the NASCAR races this weekend. We also are going to go to beautiful Laguna Seca for the IndyCar race this weekend. On Sunday, they'll race at, in Monterey, California. They'll get that nice cool breeze off the Monterey Bay. That should make it feel pretty comfortable out there with temperatures in the 60s. And my friends at F1, they're going to Spain this weekend for the Formula One race. Looks like some showers. We might see another wet race for Formula One. I'm meteorologist Brandon Lawson. Enjoy the races.
Now let's check to see the weather in cities across the country today. We start in Minneapolis, where this weekend Prince fans will be celebrating the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. There may be some rain there in the forecast tomorrow, but it, of course, will be purple. Sunday will be partly cloudy. Temperatures will be in the 70s. Pitmasters will gather along Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. this weekend for the 32nd annual Giant Barbecue Battle. And their smokers won't be the only thing that's red hot. Temperatures will be in the upper 90s all weekend and may even approach 100 degrees. 100,000 fans will pack the boardwalk in Wildwood, New Jersey for the Barefoot Country Music Festival. Ocean breezes will help keep temperatures in the mid-80s all weekend. And Summerfest kicks off in downtown Milwaukee with 600 artists performing over the next 3 weeks. There is a risk, though, of storms today and tomorrow, but Sunday should stay dry. Highs will be near 80 degrees. And time now for a short break, but first we soar over Utah's Deer Creek Reservoir and Alpine Loop.
Well, a very good Friday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. Scattered thunderstorms across the plains here. It's, again, cool to the north of it, but hot to the south. We're looking at a lot of 90s across the southern Midwest for the day today and for the day tomorrow. As we continue on into your Sunday, that rain will continue to shift its way towards the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. So the rain will be slowly moving its way to the east as we go through the weekend, but starting to warm up back behind that rain out across the plains, back in the upper 80s by Sunday.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. We're looking at 60s and 70s up across the north. Really nice, very warm, humid, cloudy, and a few little tropical showers still left over from Alberto. We're going to continue to see that same situation right up along the South Texas coast. That means more hit and miss showers throughout the day. That means slightly cooler temperatures, but warming back up to summer levels back up to the north. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. That's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there, everybody. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. It is the first full day of summer, and out west, in some cases, it will be a scorcher, especially, of course, in Phoenix with that excessive heat continuing. In the desert Southwest, not so much with Carl the Fog coming through the Golden Gate in San Francisco. Just 66 courtesy of the marine layer there. 86 sounds pleasant enough around Spokane. We'll see a few thunderstorms again left from Alberto, pushing into the Four Corners region later today. And that's the scene from here.
Watching the National Weather Desk.
As we head into the weekend, we want to give you one more heat safety tip that is really important for children. You may not realize this, but playground equipment can get so hot in the summer heat and can easily cause serious burns. Meteorologist Matt Gunn has more.
Although kids need to have some fun in the sun, nearly 67% of all playgrounds across the country, according to a study in 2019, are exposed to lots of sunlight. That means your children could end up having a sunburn in as little as 11 minutes. Also, if the playground is exposed to direct sunlight, you could end up touching equipment that could be feeling like it's 189 degrees when in direct sunlight. I'm meteorologist Matt Gunn reporting.
And we invite you to watch our special Super Storms, which takes a close look at the 2024 hurricane season. Either scan the code or head over to our YouTube page. We look at why this season could be so active, examine the roles new technology is playing in hurricane forecasting. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great Friday. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you right back here on Monday.